Hey there, quick note before we dive in. What you're watching right now is a lesson from one of my courses that I've decided to release completely for free here on YouTube so you don't have to pay a dime. So instead of asking you to buy my course, if you want to show your appreciation, here's a couple of things that you can do. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. These small actions tell YouTube to share my content with more people, which is a huge help. Also, feel free to check out my recommended equipment links in the description below. If you do purchase equipment from these links, I do get a small commission at no extra cost to you whatsoever. Or if you want to, you can leave me a super thanks or even just hit play on one of my playlists. I know it sounds silly, but if you just hit play on one of my playlists and let it play in the background, even if you're not paying attention, it tells YouTube, hey, people are watching these videos. I'm going to push it out to more people. So even if you just want to do that, I would love it. I would appreciate it so much. And then lastly, if you're looking for more personalized help, I do offer private coaching that you can find in the description of this video. Either way, I really appreciate you, whether you choose to do one of these things or not. Just by simply watching this video, it means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Now, let's get to the lesson. All right, so when it comes to compression and dialogue, our main goal is consistency with the volume of our final audio. If we're making a YouTube video or a podcast or doing a live stream or even a tutorial video like this one, we want to ensure that our listeners aren't having to constantly reach for the volume knob and turn the audio up and down and up and down. Compression is one of the main ways to achieve this, along with limiting. So let's take this audio for example. As you can see, some of the audio is lower in volume while some of the audio is higher in volume. Depending on what you recorded, this could be more or less drastic than my example. But again, what we're looking to achieve here is to bring the louder audio and quieter audio together so we have more consistency with our average volume. So I'm going to pull my compressor in here and we're going to go through the settings. As long as you've properly set your levels and your audio is averaging in the yellow of the meter or between -12 dB and -6 dB, then we'd be good to set our threshold to -12 dB. Because as you know from the previous video, a compressor will still allow some audio to pass through its set threshold as determined by the ratio. This ends up helping us maintain a nice consistent overall volume to our audio. Now, if you were recording something that was highly dynamic, as in you were getting really loud and then quiet, you'd likely want to set your levels more so between -18 dB and -12 dB to give you that extra headroom for when you get loud during the recording. But for this example, the audio levels were averaging in the yellow between -12 dB and -6 dB, so we're going to set our threshold to -12 dB. If you need more help with properly setting your levels, I have an entire video dedicated to that in my full course. All right, so now I'll set my ratio to 3:1 because I actually want it to be more aggressive than just affecting half of the audio. That would be 2:1. But I also don't want to overcompress my audio either. Now, I'll set the attack time to 0 milliseconds and my release to 100 milliseconds and increase my output gain by 5 dB and hit apply. Look at that. Now the audio is much more consistent in volume than previously. All right, so this example is a lot like the previous example, just looking at it from another angle. Another reason for using compression would be when you have really loud spikes in your audio that are keeping you from making your audio louder overall. You want to turn up the volume of your audio, but these pesky spikes keep you from doing just that. As you can see here with this audio example, if I tried to turn up the audio with the Adjust Amplitude tool here in Adobe Audition, I would immediately be stopped by these pesky spikes because if I turn up the audio just a little bit, these spikes will clip. If you're not exactly sure what clipped audio is or how to properly set your levels before recording, I have a video that covers all of this in my full course. So how do I get my audio louder if I'm being stopped by these spikes? You guessed it, compression. So now I'll set my ratio to 3:1 because I want it to be more aggressive than just affecting half of my audio, like 2:1 would, but I also don't want to overcompress my audio. Now I'll set the attack time to 0 milliseconds and my release to 100 milliseconds and increase my output gain to 5 dB and hit apply. As you can see, I can now turn my audio up without being immediately stopped by those pesky spikes because the compressor has taken care of them.